Evoto 6.0 just dropped, and I'm going to give you my honest review. So just days after I dropped my last video talking about my 5 favorite features of Evoto 5.1, Evoto announced the Evoto 1 event, which is an event they held in New York City just a few days ago, where they gave us 3 huge announcements, one of which being Evoto Desktop 6.0. That is a full version upgrade from the last thing that I talked about. So I know there's some really cool things that are in here, and I want to share them with you. And 2 other announcements I'll share with you at the end. So here we are inside of the new Evoto 6.0, and one of the biggest new things that Evoto has announced is AI culling. Now, I'm not new to AI culling. I've been using AI culling. There are 2 other very large AI culling applications that are out there that have been kind of in the market for a while, but to be able to have it integrated right here into Evoto is huge. And Evoto is so good with AI. I was really curious what they were going to do that would be maybe different or better than what the other AI applications are doing. Now, I want to be upfront. I'm not a huge fan of AI culling. I think there's a lot to be said about intent when a photographer is taking pictures, and things that AI just can't really get its AI head wrapped around as far as what I was intending to do with my photo. So some of that could be things that Avoto has taken into account, of whether their eyes are closed because a couple is kissing, or if a kid is laughing, or things like that. There are exposure things to think about. Did my flash misfire? Is it adding that to the cull? Is there just a test shot that I took to test my light, and the client isn't actually doing any pose, they're just standing there? A lot of times AI is adding those photos that I don't want to the cull because it doesn't understand. It's just looking, is there a face? Is it different than the other ones? So if you're doing something like school photography, I think it works great for school photography. If you just want one image of every kid that you took, I think that's great. For a lot of portrait photographers that are out there in the field photographing for weddings, I don't think it's there. So I'm excited to see what Avoto has in store for AI culling. So here it is. In here, I loaded this shoot. We did a kind of a branding shot for a girl who's getting into cosmetology. So we did a lot of really fun stuff. We did some on a pink background. We did some on kind of plain white. So I wanted to send it through. There's about, I think there's like 180-ish images that are in this set, and I ran it through once just because I wanted to see. I didn't want it to be on this video waiting for it to cull for 20 minutes. The 180 images took 2 or 3 minutes, maybe tops. I ran another job with 600 images, and that took maybe 5 or 6 minutes. So it's really fast. But when you go through here, you'll see, let's start recalling. Let's look at this menu here. So you're going to choose the event type. This is kind of where a lot of the proprietariness of the different AI applications are, by choosing what kind of event you're doing. So if there's headshots, it's really just focusing on the head. If you're doing children or babies, school portraits, weddings, if there's a wedding, it might understand that the couple might be kissing, so their eyes might be closed, or different kinds of things. So there are different things that the kind of algorithm, I guess is the word I'll use, is looking for. Families, it's understanding that there's going to be multiple people. So it has to look at all those, it understands that there's multiple people in each photo. Maternity might understand that there's not going to be a face in every image. There might be just the belly or just the hands or something like that. Boudoir, same way, might not be a face in every single image. So these are things that somewhere in the back end of the application, it is looking at things like that. So for this one, I put it through as headshot because it's just branding. I guess you could also do it as portrait just to see if that changes anything as well. But I'll just leave it at headshot. So AI selection. So here's something. If you're watching, or Avoto, if you're watching this, here's something that I have an issue with right now, is that you have to tell it exactly how many images you want. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes in other applications, I'm choosing, do I want a lot of images? Do I want few images? So it's saying basically based on how many groups, how many images per group do you want or something like that. So for Avoto, I don't know. I don't know how many different poses I did. If I go through, I can probably go through here and go, just count the poses and say, this is how many images I want. When you start it, it gives you a number. I don't know where that number comes from. So for this, 186 images, it randomly defaulted to 56. I don't know why. I don't know where that number comes from. I don't know if it has already, when it imported the photos, looked at how many different poses it initially saw. So that's interesting. And then this frontal priority, I assume is meaning that the person is facing the camera. I left this unselected just because I didn't really care. And then I changed it to 50 just to see kind of what that was going to give me. But this is something that I would like to see this menu change somehow. So detection settings, closed eye detection. This is obviously one of the two biggest things you're going to see in AI culling is eyes closed and blurriness. Those are things that are going to kill any image. If they blinked or if the image is blurry, you don't want that image. Those are just kind of blanket across all AI culling applications. But here you can definitely see skip detection for laughing. So if the program understands that the person is laughing in the image, it knows that when they're laughing, sometimes their eyes might be closed, but you might want that, especially when you're photographing children and things like that. They close their eyes all the time. So I would love to see different options for this of like laughing, kissing, and embrace. Sometimes if I have a bride and groom embracing, sometimes, I'll have one of their eyes closed or both of their eyes closed or something like that. So I don't know if that's built into the event type, that it doesn't have to think about that, or why they specifically chose to call out laughing, but it is neat that it's there and it's an option. So this is something that I haven't seen in other AI culling applications that I'm very excited about, and that's underexposure detection and overexposure detection. If I'm doing a test shot and I went from inside to outside and that first shot is completely blown out because I forgot to change my settings, I obviously don't want that image. Or if I'm doing a light test and I have, off-camera flash and my first flash is super bright because I just overshot what I was doing, I don't want that image, obviously. Underexposed. If I have a series of images with a flash and the flash misfired at some point and there's 8 images of perfect exposure and there's one where the subject is completely dark because the flash didn't go off, I don't want that image. So I love that this is here and that there's kind of a low, standard, or high as far as what you want that sensitivity to be. So I know that I can bring back an underexposed image more than I can bring back a blown out image. So I'm going to leave my overexposure set to high and my underexposure set to standard. And then blur detection is set to high because I don't want blurry images at all. And my duplicates detection. So this is interesting to me. So this is saying how much do you want to group those duplicates together? Do you want all of the poses to be considered duplicates? If there's a smile versus no smile, is that a duplicate? And things like that. So I have it set to high just because I wanted to see what it was going to do. Limit selected photos per group. So that's interesting. So again, if you're a school photographer and you just need one shot of each kid that you took. So I would set that duplicate detection to high. I want each kid is one duplicate and I only need one image of each kid. You can set that limit. I didn't set that limit just because maybe smile versus no smile, or, face this way, face that way. They might consider that duplicate, but if they're both good photos, then I still want them for this particular session. But again, for school photography, this is something where limiting per group could be important for you. And then how you want those tagged is pretty standard. So that's how I had it set in here. And again, you can see the AI selection set to 50. And these are the images that it gave me. So I don't see any particular issue. So here there's 1, 2, again, I chose 50, it gave me 50. It gave me what I asked for. So if I lowered the number, so like this image through this image, let's say. There's 5 images there. They're all pretty much the same. The smile might be different. So maybe I want the no smile and the smile, but I don't need these 3. If I had chosen a lower number, what would that have given me? So that's something where, you know, this is a smile versus no smile. These are all, see, these 3 are all pretty much the same. So I don't necessarily need all 3 of them. Here's an image. So she wanted this image with some things in her pocket. And then here is my wife's hands fixing it. I don't need that image. I don't want that image. That's not necessarily anything against Avoto per se, but it is something against AI culling in general, where this is obviously not a photograph that I want or need. I don't know how to tell AI that I don't want that photo, other than to mark it at this point and hope that it somehow learns that. That is just something that comes with the world of using AI and having a computer try to guess what your intent was and what images that you want. So there weren't a lot of test shots in here. I'm trying to see, even these first 2 are fine. There weren't a lot of test shots where she's just having no expression to see if it would catch those or not. But generally, I think these are 50 decent images. Here's another group that, you know, maybe I didn't need all of them. So maybe I could go through and rechange that number from 50 to 40 and see if it gets rid of those. So now you can go down into, this is where with any AI program, I would never trust an AI program to cull for me and then whatever, and not look and sort of review what it gave me. I don't trust any AI program on the market, period, to do that for me. You're gonna have to go back through and sort of review what it gave you to see if everything is good or not. I just would not trust giving this to a client without me personally reviewing it. And that is just thinking of AI as a employee of my company and me being the manager. Let's say I'm just gonna review their work. That's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna micromanage. AI is an employee of your studio that needs to be micromanaged. Think of it as a very, very young employee at your studio that just needs to be reviewed. So you can go down here to your duplicates, and this is the survey view. So now you can go through each one, and down at the bottom, you can go kind of group by group and see. So this one is only 1 image. This is 2 images, and it shows both. 2 images shows both. These are 3 images, and it shows all of them. So this is one where I might set that one setting of maximum images or the limit images per group and change that, because these are duplicates, but it gave me both. These are all duplicates. It gave me all of them. So now that we've looked at what it has selected, let's look at what it hasn't selected. So here you can pick all the selected ones. You can see that 12 of them, it decided they were blurry. So we can look at those. So these were all, that one should not have been blurry. But these are ones that we are specifically asked, I guess is the way to say it, to be blurry, because it's focusing on her hand and the tools that she's holding, not necessarily her face. So it considered those blurry because it, again, is looking for a sharp face, not necessarily what the intent of the photo was. Again, so I might have to go in here and look at these blurry photos and review them and see if I did actually want one of these. So let's just say this one looks lit best to me. So I can go through and then just select that one, give it 5 stars, and still have it in my set. These are the underexposed ones. So it looks like there's 12 of those. Again, I don't know why it shows these as being, oh, these are overexposed. I don't know why it shows these as overexposed. They all look pretty decently exposed to me. So I don't know. I don't know why it shows those. Underexposed, 2 underexposed. Here's a good catch. There's one. This is one that It looks like my flash didn't go off for one reason or another. That's underexposed. I don't want it. Good catch. Closed eyes. Let's look at the closed eyes one. Here's ones with closed eyes. These all legitimately look like blinks to me. Yeah. These are all half blinks that are, oh, here's a good, like, just test shot of her sitting there. You can see my wife's hand is in the frame. I was probably just testing lighting, but good catches. Good catches. A lot of AI applications that I've used for AI culling don't catch like half closed eyes, or if like one eye is closed and things like that. So really good on Avoto for catching the sort of half closed blink eyes that a lot of other applications don't catch. So I like that. So from here, you can then go from your, you have those selected, and then go over to your edit module and then start editing the ones that have been selected. And then you're off to the races. So that's AI culling from Evoto. I think it's on the right track. Again, this is 6.0. So with any 0.0 software, this is the first iteration. I guarantee you bugs, as people start using this, people are going to find bugs. People are going to have suggestions. Very quickly, this is going to be updated. I guarantee you we'll see 6.1 in probably by the time this video goes live. You might see 6.1. This might be outdated as soon as it goes live. We'll see. But I'm very excited that this is in here, that this is something that if you're using another AI culling application, you might be able to cancel that subscription and just switch over to using Evoto if Evoto is a main part of your workflow anyway. So let's see what happens as they do that. One of the other things I was very excited about was perspective and doing kind of fixing AI perspective things. I was very excited when I saw them talk about it in the Avoto 1 event, because I shoot a lot of buildings in my portraits. I love architecture. I love incorporating architecture with my portraiture. So with that, there's a lot of lines in what I photograph. So I wanted to be able to have a way to not have to go into Photoshop and make guidelines and have grids and things that I'm trying to adjust perspective and move buildings around so that the lines are straight and things like that. If I can one click edit that in Avoto like I do so many other things, that would be huge for me. So I added a couple images here that I know this is just images that I've already edited, but have kind of doors in here that I've been playing around with, because there are these lines behind her that should be straight in my images. So I want them to be straight. I would love for Avoto to have a way for me to do that. So in the sort of color adjustments menu down at the bottom, you have your lens correction and then your transform correction. So now there is this AI transform correction. So with that, this is one that I already messed with. So I'm gonna readjust all these so that they're all zeroed out. So this is the image as it's taken. So let's undo that. So when I clicked the AI transform corrections button, it didn't really do anything to this particular image. And you can very clearly tell that this line is not straight. This line is not straight. So there's different options here. Automatically fix perspective distortion in both vertical and horizontal directions. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So if I click the level, it doesn't really change anything. If I click vertical, it also doesn't really change anything. I hope that smart would be the way to go, but you can go down here now and I can kind of adjust this. I can rotate it the way I need to do it. So here's another issue, I guess, with this is that you can change perspective again in Photoshop, and these white edges now, if I'm using Photoshop, I can crop and use the generative expand or the generative fill to fill in those gaps. I was really hoping that Avoto was going to announce generative fill or generative expand or some type of generative AI in 6.0. It's not here yet. I'm hoping that they're working on it. I'm sure they are. It's such a huge part of the sort of AI world. They do that with the, actually, now that I think about it, let me go into the background, because you can fix, what happens if I do this now? Clean background. Oh, see? No, I don't want solid, non-solid background. See, I was hoping that doing the distractions was going to fill in those white lines, but it's not. So you're going to have to either crop this image or then take this image into Photoshop, use generative fill to kind of fill in those gaps and then move it back. So it is what it is. But let's look at another image. So this is her in front of this building. Now, again, this perspective, the skew is way off of this image. I wish I could show you what the final image is that I edited, but these are kind of the raws from this. So again, let's go in here. Let's see what happens when I use the perspective. Transform, AI transform. Oh, okay. It's not perfect, but it's not, it definitely, hold on, let's, yeah, I like that. It leveled it out some. I bet if I lens correction, maybe. Oh, this is an auto. Oh, I'd love to see them auto lens correction a little bit. Oh, let's undo vignette. Okay. So now that line is much straighter. All right. I'm impressed with this so far. And I could still do it even some more. Again, you're going to get those lines down at the bottom, so you got to crop or do something with it. But, and she doesn't look warped, which is good. It didn't warp her by me making this big change. I dig it. I dig that a lot. Let's try this one. What happens? This one's way off. So let's see. Let's see if it'll fix it. Okay. I like that. So I can kind of move this over so I can center my image. You can Y offset so you can kind of move your photo around. Aspect. Oh, so you can change the aspect ratio. Scale, so zoom in. Oh, there you go. That's a way to crop, I guess, is just by changing the scale. So if I go here and change the scale a little bit, I don't want to cut the top of the building off, but that's from this to that. That's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. I was honestly ready to not like this tool, but so far so good. Oh, see, this one's not good. That's not straight at all. We can go in and fix it a little bit, I guess. And fix the X. Like that. It's hit or miss. It's there though. It's there. It's still, I mean, that one to me is, and this one to me, I'm super impressed with. So to go from that to that relatively quickly is very impressive. So this is a tool that, again, brand new tool. It's going to get, as people use it, it's going to learn more. It's going to figure out what people are doing with it. It's going to figure out which lines people want straight. I'm sure there's going to be some suggestions from people as beta testers and other things are out there using it. But let's see. So let's start rating things. Culling. I'm going to give Culling, the Culling tool, I'm going to give it like 6 out of 10. I don't know. It's there. It's brand new. I'm excited for what they're going to do with it. This one, I'll give a 7 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's there. It's good. It's useful. It'll save you time. You're still going to have to go in and do some manual adjusting, but there's a lot of things that I do that are one click that I still do manual adjusting with in here. So yeah, I like that a lot. So let's look at one more thing, and that is they've made a lot of really cool adjustments to wrinkles. So again, I do a lot of headshot clients, really great headshot client. She's absolutely beautiful. She definitely told me when I was photographing her that she doesn't like a lot of her wrinkles. What woman does, really? So many AI programs out there that have existed before Avoto are very heavy-handed when it comes to blemish removal, when it comes to wrinkle removal. So one of the things that I love that Avoto is doing is they're getting very granular. I still think there's room for improvement on freckles, specifically freckles and moles versus blemishes is huge. I know it's something that people talk about all the time. They did add the freckles versus acne remover. It's still not perfect. I know they're working on it. I know that people talk about it. I'd love for this to get way more granular. But with that, when you look down at facial wrinkles, now we have 3 brand new sliders. Perioral wrinkles. I've actually learned a lot of vocabulary when it comes to wrinkles with Avoto because I didn't know what a lot of these were called. Oh, okay. So these are, oh, haha, that wrinkle went away. These look like very fine, the kind of very fine wrinkles. I might have to Google what that word means, but that's good. I do like that line went away. Cheek wrinkles. Again, whenever I'm testing a new slider, I love to just send it to 100 to see what it does. Actually, I'm going to take this away just so I can see specifically what cheeks. So again, these are here, cheek wrinkles, just like it says. I don't know if I would want full 100, just because some of that is just natural. And even 20 years ago, she probably still had those kind of smile lines, I guess you would say. So I wouldn't send that to 100, but they're there if you wanted to. Doesn't look bad at 100. That's not my cup of tea. I don't want, that's probably good 50%, 60%, maybe even 70%. I still want to see that texture there, the folds of her face without it looking like deep wrinkles. Let's go there. So nasal wrinkles. So specifically, she's got kind of a smile crinkle. A lot of people kind of crinkle their nose when they smile. So this isn't even just a older client situation. A lot of people crinkle their nose when they smile. So this now, that get rid of all of that. So even kind of the inside of her eye here. So you have like your crow's feet lines on the outside, but then you have these wrinkles on the inside that it's taking care of. And then these kind of wrinkles here and there. Still a lot of great texture, but without that. I always send reduce face shine all the way up. Yeah, that looks better. So they also, double chin is more granular, which I was excited about. I wasn't even talking about that, but I just happened to see it. So now there used to just be one slider for do you want double chin or not? But now you can change the intensity. Trying to see what the difference is. Okay. Oh, okay. And then how much of a shadow do you want? Oh, that's no shadow. So what? Okay, if I have intensity all the way up and shadow. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I don't know if I like that. Not without the shadow. You got to have the shadow there. Yeah. So it's interesting. I'm curious when I would. Oh, okay. I'm curious when I would use these lines. Somebody asked for it because they don't do anything without someone asking for it. So somebody asked for it. I'm sure this is a situation where it's necessary. But yeah, that looks great. So your marionette lines. Again, this is too smooth to me. I don't consider this a wrinkle. So yeah, maybe a couple, 10, 15, a little bit. But yeah, so facial wrinkles, huge update to that. So lots of cool things they're adding in here. They made a couple changes to the library. You can do collections now. So say I wanted to do a demo and I wanted to go into each of my project and pull 1 or 2 photos out of my project so I can do a demo for a workshop or something. I can make a collection of individual images from different projects and make a collection down here. And then I can do a demo using those. So that's really cool, especially for those of us who do videos and workshops and things like that. What else is in here that I can show you guys? The backdrop changer. So spill, if you use green screen at all and you get some of that green light spill, I don't have any examples here, but if you use green screen and you're doing the background change and you're changing it to a gray background or a brown background, but you see some of that light spill, they will now fix that light spill in one click. Kind of remove spill down here is brand new in there. So huge for you guys who do green screen stuff out there. I don't use a lot of green screen. But even if you do the background change and there's kind of that halo effect around them, it will fix some of the haloing too. So again, if you use the background changer for headshots even, would be fantastic. Let's see what happens if I'm going to change this to brown. Oh, I actually like this one. Is that different than what I did? Oh, yeah. Or change it to brown. Yeah, I don't see a lot of haloing around her or anything. But remove spill, remove unwanted color artifacts, and reduce any ghosting or halo effects in the extracted image. So that's a great little thing for those of you who are using the background changer in Avoto. But that's Evoto 6.0. Please go out, update it, reach out. Go into your Avoto, update. It's available right now. Get it. There's a lot of other kind of little tweaks and things that they've made. They're always adjusting things and making things better. So make sure that you're always looking for the latest update of Avoto and go out there and make some great images. The other major announcement, probably the biggest announcement they made, they saved it to the end, was Avoto Video. We are at the point where you can do all of the Avoto edits that you're doing for your images, and soon we're going to be able to do it to video. Imagine being able to do portrait retouching, color grading using the color match feature. In one click, you can color grade a video. In a couple clicks or with your preset, you can portrait edit your video. As a boudoir photographer, imagine being able to have fully retouched boudoir video that you can now offer your clients. Think of the money-making opportunity that that's going to be. I cannot show you a demo of it because I don't have the demo of it yet. It's brand new. You can go to this website that I'm showing you here, which is video.avoto.ai. You can apply to be part of the beta. I immediately applied to be a beta tester for this. Go out there, apply to be a beta tester for it. See if you can do some really cool video work with it. I'm super excited about this. I honestly didn't even know we were at the point where we could do this with AI editing yet, but Avoto is out here crushing it. This is going to absolutely change the game of video, and Avoto will explode even more than it already has. So go out there, test it. I guarantee you, if I get added to the beta, there will be another video showing you what I can do with this. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is Avoto Instant. This is the ability, it's an app that's available on Android or iPhone. I downloaded it. I haven't really had a chance to test it out with any events, but especially if you're an event photographer, if you're a wedding photographer, you can have your phone attached to your camera, and while you're photographing, you can have those images edited using your preset. So automatically edited, just like the tether feature works in Avoto, where it's as you're taking photos, it's applying the preset before it even shows you the image. And it's immediately putting those photos into a gallery. And then when you give the client access to that gallery, they can go in and find their own photos, like taking a selfie of themselves or uploading a photo of their face. And then Avoto will say, across this gallery, these are all the photos I found of you. So especially in the event space, if you are doing commercial events, if you're doing weddings, and this is something that you could upsell to your clients of like, hey, I can photograph your reception, and then your guests can go to this link and then they can find their own photos and immediately download them. And then you can add that as an add-on to your wedding package or just in general. So there are other applications that do this out there, but being able to have this just integrated into Avoto and edit those photos before they go into that gallery instantly is huge. There's tons of ones where you can have a gallery immediately, and it's just whatever you photograph is now in that gallery. But being able to edit those beforehand is huge. So again, this you can download and you can kind of have a little bit of free access to it for a little while, get some free cloud storage space. They did also announce cloud storage space. So if I'm here in my studio and I want to have my images here in the studio or at home, or if you have an art director or anything like that you're working with, you can have all your images stored in the cloud and then edit from any Avoto on any of your computers to access those same cloud storage images. But AI Instant uses that cloud storage as a way to store those galleries. So again, get in there, test it. They'll give you a couple gigabytes of free just to test out Instant. I, again, see this as something not only that's going to save you time and money, but can actually make you time and money. So I love Avoto for this. Huge announcement. I'm so happy to even just be in the age where things like this are happening, and you've got companies like Avoto who are trying to make our lives easier. They're not trying to replace us, but they're trying to work with us and make our lives easier. I hope you are excited as I am about these updates, and keep following along, because as new things come out, when video comes out, I'm going to be reviewing those things for you. So hit that subscribe button, follow along, and make some great photos.